Good evening. Welcome to the Thursday, December 11, 2014, Lawrence Public Schools School Committee meeting. My name is Jeffrey Riley. I'm the superintendent. At this time, I'd ask that the Frost Middle School Student Council class officers, Veronica Foe, Kalisha Cole, and Kelvin Salbando, and Brianna O'Laughlin, come up to the stage to help us with the salute to the flag. The front.
Where was the flag? There's no flag.
I was like, oh goodness. So it's a pledge. What?
Wait, $20.
Alright, you're not going to
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I'd ask that we observe a moment of silence for our troops serving overseas. Thank you and good evening. Mr. Mayor, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
We're going to begin the agenda, but I would like your permission at some point after the recognition of certain Frost performances to take a 5-minute break so that parents, if they need to get their kids home, can do so.
So moved.
I want to welcome everyone, thank this Frost community for coming out tonight. Much to celebrate here at the Frost Complex. I had an opportunity today to serve on Governor-elect Baker's educational transition team, and much of the discussion centered around what was happening in the Lawrence Public Schools. And I would argue that this school is a beacon of what's happening here in Lawrence and the great things that are happening. So give yourselves a round of applause. Woo! At this time, I'd ask that Sarah McLaughlin, the Frost Elementary School principal, come up and give us an update about the Frost Elementary School.
Good evening. Good evening, parents and community, students and staff that are here this evening. I wanted to just give you a quick overview of the work being done at the elementary school currently.
Yep.
Oh, slide 2. Oh, sorry. Just very quickly, when Ms. Bradley and I started back in July, we took a look at the performance over time, and while many students are reaching proficiency on grades 3 and 4 ELA, we were concerned that the rates aren't growing. The number of kids being proficient isn't getting higher. This is our ELA. When we look at the math, oh, next slide. Again, over the past 4 years, some growth, but not enough to that all students are reaching proficiency in math in grades 3 and grades 4. So Ms. Bradley and I spent a lot of time this summer meeting with staff. We've been working with staff since we started around what is it going to take to move these results. Next slide. And we really questioned what impacts the 3rd and 4th grade results. And when we think about the Frost Elementary School, 60% of the kids aren't in grades 3 and grade 4. We have kindergarten, we have 1st grade, we have 2nd grade. And the work that's needed in those grades is going to better prepare our students for the work in 3rd and 4th grade. We need literacy development kindergarten through grade 4 that's rigorous and meets kids' needs. We need curriculum units that are aligned to the Common Core standards that prepare our students. We need effective instruction in every classroom. Our teachers work incredibly hard. They need to have the resources they need to be ready to deliver on that instruction. And we need interventions when students are struggling from kindergarten on, not waiting until 3rd grade to realize a student needs additional support. Next slide. So where we stand today, today is day 73 of the school year for those of you who are counting. We have 595 students. We have a 7-hour, 40-minute day, an expanded learning time day that is longer than most elementary schools in the state. We have 40 teachers, many of whom are here today and work incredibly hard on behalf of the students at this school. And we have 15 other staff members who support what we're doing each and every classroom. So how do we build this K-4 learning community? I put this picture in because the mayor is helping us do that. He came and read to the kindergartners a few months ago, and they loved it, and he's an excellent read-aloud person. So if you need some of that, please call the mayor. And here's what we're focusing on this year. In literacy, we have most of our professional development focused on this work, how to reach all students, how to move our highest readers, and how to move students that are struggling with reading. We've just recently, about a month ago, hired a full-time literacy coach who is truly there to help the adults be better at this work. We have 12 days of on-site consultants that are coming in to do demo lessons for our teachers. We're doing unit planning. We will be benchmarking all students in January, knowing exactly what students know and can do in terms of reading and what help they might need. We have additional time scheduled for interventions, and we are developing some excellent teacher leaders who are going to lead this work going forward. Really quickly, other investment we're making sure we have really clear data cycles so we know what your kids need and get to them on a time schedule. We're developing teacher leadership teams to think and make decisions across the school. As I mentioned, we have expanded learning time. We will have acceleration academies during the February and April vacations. We've been able to double the size of our guidance team this year, so we have a bunch of increased supports on the social emotional side for students, and we are building a unified school culture through PBIS. I could not sit up here and not recognize the incredible good work of the PTO and the very strong parent engagement we have at the Frost. I want to give them a round of applause. I have to admit, I did not know what a good PTO was before I came to the Frost, and I'm honored to work with them, and the work they do for the faculty and families is wonderful. And we have a lot of work to do, but we must recognize where there's growth. We are having monthly assemblies to recognize student progress and student performance, and I think the students really look forward to them. We need to know when things are going well. And here's some early positive signs. Our ANET data, we are at or above the network in grades 3 and 4 for ELA and math so far this year. Our average daily attendance, and parents, I am thanking you for this, our attendance is higher already than last year. We have a reduction in the daily disciplinary incidents. Students that are being disruptive in the classroom, we're being able to support them far better. And finally, we just took a staff survey to compare to results from the spring. We're already seeing improvements in how staff are feeling about the key conditions of teaching and learning. Thank you.
You may want to.
Want some questions? Ms. McLaughlin,
You may want to stay just for a couple
you're not
seconds.
off the hook just yet.
Nice try.
Any questions from the group?
Any questions from the school committee? Mr. Blatchford.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that presentation. I just had one quick question. So you mentioned benchmarking for all students. If you could explain a little bit more what that means.
Absolutely. Back in November, we purchased kits from an expert called Fountas and Pinnell, and these kits allow each teacher to sit individually with a child, have them read a book, determine with a running record how their accuracy is, as well as their comprehension. What comes out of that benchmark, it can take anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes, is a very clear picture of where that student is, what they can do, and what they need. That score that they get is then translated into what they're doing in the classroom, so students can then be grouped by what they need and get that direct instruction.
Thank you very much.
Ms. Ortiz.
You say that there's a reduction in daily discipline incidents. What do you attribute that to?
Great question. I think in many classrooms, we are seeing very strong cultures built around what the expectations are and how students can meet them. I'll give an example of third grade. Each month, they are picking a theme around respect, responsibility, and really teaching what that looks like, and then expecting it, and then acknowledging when they see it. I also think the addition of a second counselor has been very supportive. We've split them up by grade levels.
Thank you.
Mrs. Mariano.
Thank you. Ms. McLaughlin, thank you for that presentation. Could you describe one of the interventions that you're using with the children? Like, what would a typical intervention look like in a second grade classroom?
So right now, the last hour of the day is intervention for second grade, and the two teams, the grade 1 team and the grade 2 team, are designing an intervention where the grade 1 teachers, students would be with an enrichment provider or a specialty teacher, and the grade 1 teacher would push into the second grade class, meaning in a class that usually had one teacher, now there's 2 teachers. They can divide the students into smaller groups and do the intervention directly with a smaller group of students.
Thank you.
And I have to give credit, that is teacher designed and really looking good.
Just one last question from me. Just on that second slide, does it appear that the percentage of proficient students is actually going down year over year?
On ELA, yes, there has been a downward trend in 3rd and 4th grade proficiency.
Is the student body grown? Are we talking, I mean, is it a percentage of the, are we attributing this as anything specific?
I mean, my theory and my hypothesis is stronger work needed in K1 and 2 to get, 3rd grade teachers can't carry the load of all of that. So if a student comes to 3rd grade not kind of having the solid foundation in K1 and 2, that's a lot of work for the 3rd grade teacher to reach all those standards in 3rd grade.
Do a large percentage of the students are in the school that continue through the, so if you do that in the lower grades, are you going to have the impact, or a lot of kids coming in new?
A lot of students have been there since kindergarten.
Okay.
So we believe a real stronger foundation and some good vertical alignment, so they're getting year after year the right foundational skills.
Well, congratulations on that math. That looked like a really nice pick.
I have to give credit to the people in the audience for that.
Just a gentle reminder that Ms. McLaughlin is a new principal here.
Absolutely. Anything else? Thank you.
Thank you very much. This time, we'd ask Ms. Ellen Baranowski to come up and present about the Frost Middle School.
Thank you very much, Superintendent. I am very pleased to be following the elementary school because we have quite a lot of success in middle school, and we give a lot of credit to our elementary colleagues for building that foundation for us. So as you know, for 3 years, the Frost Middle School has been a level 1 school, which is something we're very proud of. We are the only level 1 school that has had a 3-year run in middle school in the school district, so we're very proud of that, and we feel very good about next year as well. I talked about a little bit about that foundation being built, and it's a very strong foundation, so we feel good about that for next year. I don't want to make too many promises, but
I wrote it down.
I'm knocking on wood, believe me.
Me too.
So for 3 years, one of the things that we've done at the middle school level is to take a look at our successes and compare them to those of the state so that we can come as close as we can to what those state averages look like. The previous slide, I know I'm already behind. The previous slide was a picture, this slide is a picture of our level 1 celebration that we had this past October, and that's the 3rd year that we've had all the kids out there. The first year I actually took the picture, I wasn't in it, but I got so scared up on the roof that I made somebody else take it this year. So that's our entire school this past October. So our first slide looks at student growth percentiles, and as you know, typical student growth should be between 40 and 60 points per year. The state sets an absolute medium student growth, or SGP, at 50. This is a picture of our school's student growth. As you can see in ELA, our growth is 53, which is a little bit above the state average and a little bit above the median, the absolute median. And our school growth in mathematics is 66, which is considered high growth. It's actually very high growth, and we are very proud of that this year. The next slide talks about Composite Performance Index, CPI. CPI takes an average of the points that are allotted for each achievement category. For example, students who score proficient or advanced are allotted 100 points. Students who have scored warning low are allotted 0 points. They add all of those points up and divide by the number of kids who took the test. So the Frost Middle School is closing the gap in its CPI in ELA, in math, with scores of 78.5, which is less than 2 points below the state average. It's actually 1.8 below the state average, and that's really very impressive to us. We've been putting a lot of effort into our math, as you can see. 83.7 in ELA is actually 3 points below the state average, and again, we feel like that's a very good showing for us and for our kids, and we want to bring that up closer to the state average. And of course, you can see we have some work to do in science, where we scored a 69 CPI, and the state average is 75.7. The next slide speaks to MCAS distribution in math. As you can see, we are 1% higher than the state's passing rate. The state's passing rate in math is actually 85%, and our school is at 86% passing. With that, you can see that our actual percentages of advanced kids are only 3% lower than the state's percentages of advanced kids. Again, that's what we're working towards, those state numbers. We're looking at that every year and trying to get as close as we can to what the state looks like. The next slide is about MCAS distribution in ELA. We have been fairly stagnant in ELA, as has the state been fairly stagnant in ELA, but we continue to maintain some of the highest scores in the school district, and we have had traditionally we've had a bit of a hard time moving those scores, but the school passing rate is 91% in ELA, the state passing rate is 92% in ELA, so we're quite close to the state in that category. And the next slide speaks to MCAS distribution in science. We are quite a bit below the state passing rate. We're 6 points lower than the state passing rate. We are at 82% passing, while the state is at 88%. The good news is, though, that our 8th graders do have the highest proficiency rates in the district, and we consider that a culmination of the science that is done all the way through middle school in grades 5 through 8. We do have quite a strong science program. And the last slide is just a list of additional activities, enrichment and extension opportunities and activities that we offer to the kids at the Frost Middle School, because it's not all about reading and math, but quite a bit of it is about reading and math. So we do have quite a few extension activities that the kids can also get involved in, so that they feel that they are a strong part of our Frost Middle School community. Okay.
Any questions? Thank you so much.
Mr. Mayor?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mrs. Mariano.
Ms. Baranowski?
Oh, we want to just make an announcement. Yes.
I wouldn't be remiss if I didn't congratulate you for those impressive scores.
Well,
Thank you for a job well done.
As I've said 1,000 times, the principal gets all the glory and all the blame. So tonight it's all the glory, but it really is the work of the staff that is here tonight, certainly as well as the parents. And those are our smart learners sitting right out ahead of you there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to ask Ms. McLaughlin to come back up as well for the Frost School Complex presentation of awards.
Mr. Superintendent, can I just take a second?
Sure.
Now that both principals are on stage, if they could stay for a second.
Let me just move over here.
I just wanted to extend my gratitude, and I'm sure the gratitude of the committees, of the committee, for the work that you did in supporting this this community, this learning community, during what was a very, very tough and sad moment in our community's year. So it's not easy when you have so many folks looking to you guys for leadership. And I just want to thank you and your staff, everyone across the board, for the work that you did in making sure that this community felt loved and supported through that process. Thank you.
Thank you, and I know that I speak for Sarah as well when I thank you and certainly the school system for the support that they gave us so that we could get to where we needed to be. Thank you.
Okay, you're going to do these presentations?
Okay. So tonight, I guess I'll still sit down because I'm here by the microphone. Tonight, we are presenting to you, Superintendent, and to the school committee and to the mayor, not all of our students, but we have invited all of our students who have scored, who have made the honor roll in the high honor roll first term. Between the elementary school and the middle school, we have well over 350 kids who are on the honor roll or the high honor roll.
Whoa!
So at this time, if you are a student who received an honor roll or a high honor roll certificate, would you stand up and show it proudly, please?
Got performers after this?
Thank you. Please be seated. And it doesn't only take hard work when you're here. You have to be here every day to be successful. And we have over 250 students that have been here every single day since we started in August. Please stand up. Elementary and middle, perfect attendance. We are almost ready for performances. I do want to recognize two staff members, one in the middle school and one in the elementary school, who have put behind you an incredible display of student artwork, and they did a lovely job picking the right pieces. There's some pieces back there I might want to purchase for my home. I want to thank April Bradshaw and Annie Marion. And now I would like to present our ELA enrichment teacher, Miss Robot, and a third grade music class performing Return to Oz.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is 1 year later in the land of Oz, and Scarecrow's not happy with his new brain. He's having all kinds of problems and wishes he was back in the cornfield. But the Munchkins are going to teach him some strategies to be able to deal with his conflict. Thank you.
You all know the story, how Scarecrow got a brain, Lion got some courage, the witch went down the drain. Dorothy's back in Kansas, St. Woodman has a heart, think that's where it ended, no, that's just the start. But 1 year later, hated. Maybe you can delegate some of your responsibilities to others. I tried that. I told a lion and to the woodman I'd share my rule with them, but now they're fighting about how to split the power. I just want to run away from it all. You can't run away from conflict. Working through problems is how you learn. Man, I should have stayed in that cornfield. Maybe somewhere. Before I had a brain, my life was easy. Before I had a brain, I had no strife. Before I had a brain, there were no problems. I had such a simple, simple, simple brainless life. Once I got a brain, look how complicated, conflict all around. Man, I really hate it. Oh no, 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 no. Can I run away? No, 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 no. Sometimes you gotta say and face it. Yeah, conflict's good for you. You gotta learn to work things through. Oh no, 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 no. You cannot run away. Before I had a brain, I had no worries. The dullest blended life you've ever saw. Before I had a brain, I had no headaches. There's no pain inside a head that's only full of straw. Once I got a brain, life got complicated, conflict all around. Man, I really hate it. Oh no, 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 no. You cannot run away. No, 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 no. Sometimes you gotta stay and face it. Yeah, conflict's good for you. You gotta learn to work things through. Oh no, 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 no. You cannot run away. You cannot run away. You cannot run away. You cannot run away. You've got a good point. I'm gonna stay and figure out what to do.
Terrific job. Thank you, Ms. Robot, and thank you to our third grade performers and our elementary school performers. Fantastic job. Good for you. At this time, I am going to turn this over to Michelle LaFay and Beth Consoli. They're going to tell you a little bit about some poetry readings that some of our middle school children have done.
Hi, back in October, MIT contacted and asked if we had 15 student ambassadors that could be part of a program to create change for a better world. 9 of them are standing behind us, 9 out of the 15. And they, in an effort to make a change in Lawrence, they're focusing on empathy, they're focusing on kindness and gratitude. And I'd like to turn this over to Beth.
So we challenged them with writing a poem for tonight to let us all know who they are, who we are as a school, who we are as a Frost school, and who we are as a community. And they came up with some really beautiful poems to share with you tonight.
Good evening, and our first poem group will be Dalvin Velez, Jennifer Santana, and Randall Perez.
We are the Frost. We are from a school which prepares us for the future. We are a community of friends and teachers that make up a family. We are level 1. We are the Frost.
We are the Mimeo board we see through our glasses. We are the locks with different codes. We are backpacks full of books. We are the books on the bookshelves. We are the words of Shakespeare. We are the posters in the rooms that encourage learning. We are sports, the computer room, and specials. We are the shadows that follow the students. We are full of learning. We are full of knowledge. We are the Frost. We are frosties reaching high so falcons can fly. We are the concrete walls. We are the red, white, and blue. We are the winter hitting us with cold. We are the spring with yellow flowers and lovely grass. We are the rocks. We are the playgrounds where children play. We are the driveway that brings buses full of students. We are the cars that bring teachers to school. We are outside.
We are the trash food. Wow, more than I thought. We are the food people like. We are the milk, plenty to go. We are the pizza on Friday.
We are the Frost. We are the neighborhoods, and we come from many different places. From bikes to skateboards to going outside because we are bored. We come from Mount Vernon. We are nice, generous, and loud, but we are proud. We are the Frost. We are the Frost. We come from a place that when frosties reach high, falcons fly. We are achievers reaching level 1. We are the Falcons. We are the Frost.
We are empathetic. We are kind. We are courageous. We are strong. We are Frost strong.
Thank you for that beautiful poem, Dalveen, Brandel, and Jennifer. Our next poem is going to be with Laura Tejada and Barbara Batista.
We are from a sea of white and navy blue, united by uniform, united in heart.
We are from the endless rows of thin blue lockers that can never hold enough of our things, and the blue rubber floors that squeak when it rains. We are from blinding fluorescent lights and dreadful tiring stares. We are from 6:30 p.m. math and science nights and early Saturday morning games. We are from worn-out American flags in each classroom and the massive Massachusetts flags outside waving proudly.
We are from suburban homes surrounded by tremendous trees and falling leaves. We are from the cemented poem blocks that stand strong despite its rust and cracks. We are from the cracked bell that doesn't ring and birds that always sing.
We are from being so close to our teachers that we call them Mama Nesbitt, D. Rock, and Sir Girton. We are from laughs and memories shared by all, like Mr. Dabragi's giant Yoda doll, or the day we went to MIT to participate in Spark for Change.
We are the memories of smiley fries, the fun holiday cookies, the tater tots, and the flavored milk that tell a story on the side.
We are from constantly hearing, once a Frosty, always a Frosty, but it never loses its meaning. We are from green wristbands that say, when Frosties reach high, falcons fly. And the green banners that boldly state, you are now entering a level 1 school.
We are from hard work, determination, responsibility, and dedication. We are a proud family, but we are humble too. We thank you for being our home through all the years. We come from the Frost, and that won't ever be lost.
Thank you, Barbara and Laura. Our last group will read their poem, which will be Brianna O'Laughlin and Vivi Dang.
We are the slim blue lockers that hold our books. We are the many flights of stairs that everybody dreads about. We are the blue rubber floors in the hallway. We are the cement blocks that build up our complex. We are the fluorescent lights that light up our world like nobody else. We are the field that everybody is ready to run on. We are the flags waving proudly through the dark. We are the big old bell that never rings. We are the rigid mountain cliff that we fear to fall off. We are the group of friends that act our age. We are the staff that helps our school stay on top. We are the PTO that organizes our events. We are the kids who burst out the doors during dismissal time. We are the dances that everyone has no control at. We are the math and science nights that we play games at. We are the report card nights with all the anticipation roaming through the halls.
We are the graham crackers and apple juice that we race happily for. We are the strawberry and chocolate milk that brings us childhood joy. We are the rare pizzas where no one complains about. We are the group of students who are there for each other. We are once a Frosty, always a Frosty. We are the Frosties who fly high. We are the little things that make our school level 1.
That's terrific. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. You did a great job. Thank you. In our last presentation tonight, the Robert Frost School Cheerleaders.
In a few minutes, we're going to try to do an orderly dismissal, protecting our youngest children and having Ms. McLaughlin get them out the door. But before that, we would ask, we're told that State Senator-elect Barbara L'Italian is in the house. If she could come up and speak briefly to the crowd, we'd appreciate that. Is that okay, Mr. Mayor?
Yes, please.
Barbara L'Italian, are you here?
There she is.
There she is. She's coming.
You're going to have to come down the middle.
She's coming down.
There we go. Is that on? Come on stage. Come on stage.
Nice to see you.
Why don't you have a seat?
Thank you. Just go ahead. All set? Great. Hi, everybody. My name is Barbara L'Italian. I've been sitting in the back watching all the wonderful performances, the cheerleaders and the poetry and the dramatic readings. And it's just really wonderful to be here and to see all the wonderful work that's being accomplished here at the Frost School. I will be beginning in January to serve as your state senator. So if you remember Barry Feingold, he served for the last 4 years, and he is leaving, and I will be replacing him. And we'll be looking to work with the school committee and with Mayor Rivera and with the superintendent. I actually am on the school committee right now in Andover, where I live, and I have 4 children myself, so I remember the days when my kids used to do plays and performances, and just really looking forward to partnering with all of you to make Lawrence a wonderful place to live, to grow, to learn, and to thrive. So I just wanted to come up and introduce myself, and you may have seen me on your doorstep this past fall, but I do plan on being a very active participant and helping you be a bridge to state government in Boston. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Got to work on some dismissals. Okay, now I'm going to ask Principal McLaughlin to, first I'm going to ask all our middle school students to kind of stay put for a few minutes. We want to make sure our little ones are safe and in their parents' hands. So if Ms. McLaughlin wants to lead out the first and second graders down the middle and get them to their parents, and then the third and fourth. Everyone else, if you could bear with us for 2 to 3 minutes, we'd appreciate it. So moving along to other recognition points, we have some members of the Lawrence Army JROTC State Championship drill team here today. Every morning and after school from the beginning of school in August until the present day, you could find these 77 cadets in the gymnasium honing their skills in precision drill. These young men and women came together as one big family, and this was very evident as they performed at Brockton High School just a few weeks ago on November 22nd. The Brockton High School competition marked the final competition for the 2014-15 drill season. I was actually at the one before that in Chelsea and watched them do amazing things. All drill members, when competing, are judged by the Massachusetts Army National Guard's Honor Guard team. At each competition, the cadets are judged on their ability to march as a team, the proper wearing and appearance of the JROTC uniform, and military bearing. The highly trained judges scrutinize every command and every movement of the cadets. During the inspection part of the competition, the judges will grill the cadets on JROTC knowledge and current world events. This tests every cadet's intellect and mental toughness. During the drill performance, each team is judged on precision marching, along with proper sequencing and proper verbal commands that must be memorized by each team member's commander. What happened at Brockton High School recently was nothing short of phenomenal. After the scores were tallied, checked, and rechecked, the hosting school, Brockton High School, announced that the Lawrence Lancers were the keepers of the Governor's Cup and the Army JROTC state champions for the 2014-2015 drill competition season. The crowd erupted when this announcement was made, and the fans stormed the drill floor, all wanting to raise the cup in victory. I believe we have members of that drill team here today, and perhaps Major Romano as well. We'd ask that they come up and receive this certificate on behalf of the mayor and the school committee and have their photo taken. Mr. Mayor, we're also honored to have Stephanie Lee here. She represents Verizon Government Affairs. The Verizon Foundation is focused on improving student engagement and achievement in science, technology, engineering, and math, what we like to call STEM. And we see the use of technology when paired with PD for teachers as a powerful way to accelerate learning. Our school is one of 80 public schools across the country to receive a grant this year as part of Verizon's investment to help provide teachers with the resources they need to use technology more innovatively to engage students in STEM education. The Verizon Innovate Learning Award program is part of Verizon's commitment to the Obama administration's Connect Ed initiative, under which Verizon is providing up to $100 million in cash and in-kind contributions to drive student achievement in STEM. Stephanie Lee is here today and is here to present a check for $20,000 to Lynette Heredia for her STEM efforts at the high school. We'd ask her to come up and say a few words and then take a photo with the school committee.
Nice.
Please have a seat.
It's a pleasure to be here this evening, and what an exciting night to be in Lawrence. really impressed with everything going on, and the energy in this room is second to none. Everybody was so happy, and there's so many offerings at these schools, so I want to congratulate all of you on the school committee, Mayor Rivera and Superintendent Riley, for all of the work you're doing here. It's a pleasure to work for a company that wants to give back. As a technology company, we really care about helping build the next generation of leaders. And being a technology company, STEM is very important because over the next 10 years, 80% of the jobs are going to require some sort of science, technology, engineering, and math foundation. So it's wonderful to be here today with people like our friends in the Lawrence High School who are already mastering math and science in their academy, and to be able to present $20,000 to support the expansion of the robotics program from high school into middle school and eventually reach even younger students in elementary school. So congratulations.
Thank you. On behalf of the Lawrence Public Schools, I would like to thank Stephanie and Verizon for their commitment and dedication to our students. I would also like to thank everyone who helped me get through the application process. Our high school robotics club has grown to 50+ members at every single meeting. Last year, we ran the Lancer Lego League with 5 teams participating, including the Frosties, who did very well, and we hope to expand this program through the Verizon funding. Thank you, and to receive the check, our Lawrence High School students, Tron, Zael, and Miguel, and one of our volunteer mentors, who is an engineer from Raytheon, Caleb.
Are you ready, folks? So move that TikTok real quick. We go 3, 2, 1. One more. 3, 2. Perfect. Thank you. Hold 1 second. Thank you. Congratulations.
So nice. Thank you.
I just want to say that Stephanie Lee has been a tireless advocate for city students from Verizon. I actually met her first in Boston Public Schools many, many years ago when she was donating generous amounts of funding and support to the school system there. So thank you for coming out. We appreciate your time and efforts on behalf of our kids. I also would be remiss if we didn't recognize Mary Lou Bergeron, who I'm sure helped write with Lynette some of this grant. Mary Lou does a great job at that, so thank you to Mary Lou as well. Moving on to updates, as some of you know, the central office has begun to disperse. What that means is that certain departments are going to the new Family Resource Center. Mr. Mayor, you will recall, or you may recall, that you and I went down to the Federal Reserve in Boston to help secure funding for Lawrence work, one of which is the development of a Family Resource Center, which will take place on Island Street. The departments moving there include special education, safety and transportation, and of course, community, family, and student engagement. That building is about to be open. The ribbon cutting for that is going to be January 13th at 5:30 p.m. We invite everyone to attend. Obviously, we're having a soft opening now, but the official ribbon cutting ceremony will take place on January 13th. We will send folks reminder notices. Now, other departments in central office will be moving to the North Common Education Complex. This is at the entrance at the corner of Amesbury and Haverhill Streets. And those include human resources, facilities, accounting, payroll, teaching and learning, and my office. So we'll be at what is commonly referred to as the old high school, or is now referred to as the North Common Education Complex. I don't know if there's any questions about that.
Any questions? Thank you, Mr.
Okay. Moving on to other, I just want to point out to folks that our January meeting, we do anticipate providing this body with enrollment projections, having a discussion about a facilities master plan, as well as the Lawrence High School plan, which we're in the process of finalizing and should be ready to be reviewed in January. I do want to say, which is not on your agenda, but I just do want to point out that a preschool expansion grant was just brought in from the federal government via the state. This is going to bring in $2.35 million to Lawrence, and initially my first thought was this is not a good thing because we have such a space crunch, but the reality is they're actually asking current providers in Lawrence, not the Lawrence Public Schools, but other providers, Head Start, if you will, and those kind of folks, to take the lead and use their space to provide this opportunity. And we will kind of serve as a fiscal agent and have some other oversight onto it. But we'll be bringing you more information as it becomes available. This just was kind of a breaking news kind of thing. But that's obviously a good initiative, and we believe that the earlier we can get kids into a structured program, the better. For those who want a little bit more detail, I think many of you know that early childhood programs don't always pay commensurate with what a public school teacher will get paid. And in this initiative, they're going to actually find a way to pay teachers at a level of an elementary school teacher. Wow. And so I think that's a noble and lofty idea, and something that I think will energize that sector of education. I don't know if there's any questions on any of that, Mr. Mayor.
Any questions?
Mr. Mayor.
Mrs. Mariano.
Superintendent, I just have a question about the high school plan.
Yep.
Now, are there focus groups still meeting? I didn't know if we were going to participate in any of that discussion.
I think the teacher focus groups are now closed. I believe the student advisory committee may meet again one more time, and I think I told you folks at the last time, if folks wish to weigh in or be involved at the school committee level, you are more than welcome to.
No, I know you did, but I didn't realize that the plan was almost finalized. I just thought it was going into January, that you were still working on it.
Yeah, I mean, I think what you should expect to see is a plan either right before the holiday break or right after, which will be for the following fall. That will allow people to kind of review the plan and help us work with teachers to make sure that we place them in the appropriate place and make sure we have some wiggle room to really plan. But when you're making changes, particularly at the high school level, you need to worry about scheduling, and there's a whole host of things that take place as you get involved with any changes to a large building like that.
Any other questions on the matters the other matters that are on the other section? I just have quick on the enrollment projections. You said you're going to talk about that at the next meeting?
Yes, it's going to be brought forward with some data in the January meeting. But as I think we've reiterated at several of these past meetings, the numbers continue to be high, particularly at the south side of the city. Frost, Weatherby are oversubscribed substantially, but there's other pockets where, I mean, our numbers are just are very strong, and there doesn't seem to be any abatement of that. So a bubble is coming up through the system, whereby, and this may shock some people, but if this continues in a few years, even the high school may not be big enough to handle the amount of kids. So it's really important to talk about it and take action now, rather than waiting for the problem to occur. So we hope to have some real hard information for you in January, and we will move on from there.
Great.
Question.
Ms. Ortiz.
Can we revisit the Lawrence High School plan? So are you saying this is a part of the 21st century conversation we had last month? Or what is this?
This is, Mr. Fiato has been charged with kind of reimagining what the educational experience for high school is going to look like for kids in the 21st century, certainly. But this is, with a year under his belt, what is kind of his plan, working with the other administrators and teachers to improve this high school. I think the high school has shown some modest improvements over the last few years, and I think Mr. Fiato and I believe that we can actually do a lot better. So we've kind of charged him with getting folks together and talking about what steps are needed for change. And I believe a lot of that change can be handled internally without outside help.
Okay, so that's where I was clarifying. I'm sorry. Follow-up. Clarifying that in our previous conversation that there was going to be outside oversight, or is that two separate things as far as giving some idea of what direction we're going to go in?
I'm not familiar with outside oversight. I think this is a
I think she's talking about the accreditation.
Mr. Blatchford?
I think you may be talking about the
Is that two different?
accreditation.
Okay.
Those are two different things.
Yeah,
but they
so
have
that's
to
why
kind
I'm
of be.
asking to clarify.
Yeah,
They're together but apart.
They may be together. My recommendation is to try to postpone the accreditation by a year or two because you're going to be accredited on something that's going to change. So
Okay.
it doesn't particularly make sense. But in January, we'll have all of that ironed out with a more clear vision about the accreditation process. That is obviously an arduous process. We have not asked the high school to stop planning for that, which they've been working on that for over 18 months now, because it's an arduous process. But we may, in fact, ask for a deferment of the actual accreditation, the visiting teams coming in for a year or so until we get settled.
Mr. Blatchford?
Thank you. So for the master plan, is everything on the table to be changed, or is that just like a...
The facilities master plan?
Yeah. No, I mean for LHS plan. For example, we have 6 academies now. Is that possibly that we won't have 6 academies after this?
Yeah, I mean, I think anything is possible. What I've been very clear with Mr. Fiato in is that, we want to hear from the teachers and the kids. I mean, I myself met with the student advisory committee, and they had a lot of amazing suggestions, some of which I believe deeply, which is, for me, my big concern is that we lose a lot of kids in 9th and 10th grade, and we need to find a more structured way to work with our kids in those younger grades. And I personally, but whether they take my recommendation or not is up for debate, but I would love to see more kind of early college programs in the upper grades, internships, STEM opportunities, work with Northern Essex Community College that HHS is doing, those kind of things. So, we're putting people in a room, and my suspicion is going to be that when Mr. Fiato gives us the more finalized draft, that you're going to see a situation where the high school has a little bit more structure in 9th and 10th grade and kind of a different slant in the upper academies or upper schools.
But it's early yet, right?
Say that again?
It's early yet. They're still trying to figure those things out.
Yeah, I mean, I think what you've seen is we've involved a lot of people in the process. And, at the end of the day, Mr. Fiato is the headmaster, and I'm trying to be real respectful and let him know that, we got to involve people in the process, but he's going to be held accountable for how this goes, going forward. And change can be hard, too. So he's done a real good job, I think, of bringing in a lot of different stakeholders and should be commended for that because that's, I think bringing folks together and trying to figure out what can we do to improve is a really important part of education, but also a really hard part of education. So there's no kind of simple solution in the world today. So he's doing a great job of managing that process. And you should expect that he'll be coming back with, the details and information as he goes forward.
Just one more question.
Blatchford.
Thank you. For the facilities plan, I assume it's going to be more than just what needs to be repaired and timelines and stuff like that. It's going to be possible new buildings or additions to buildings and things like that?
Yeah, if I have the information correct, and maybe Deputy Superintendent Racine wants to come up and go into more detail, but I think it's going to match kind of enrollment projections with a real audit of buildings and what their stress level is currently, what needs to be fixed there, and or do we need to build more buildings? And I know that might be a little shocking to people because Lawrence did a pretty good job of building some buildings 10 years ago, but the reality of the situation is we may need to entertain the idea of going out and getting more buildings built.
Yeah, just to add upon that, the firm that will be able to come in to help us will be able to look at how we use our classrooms, how are they utilized during the day, how to potentially even rethink furniture and how their classrooms are set up, and how students move throughout from classroom to classroom and throughout the buildings. So we're really fortunate because it's more looking comprehensively and could lead to a lot of different options as we see this significant increase in enrollment over the next 3 to 5 years.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So when it comes to redesigning the classroom, essentially, is what one thing that we're trying to do. Does that include the increase of technology in the classroom in the sense of are we going to be having possible computers for all these children in the future, or just laptops, things like that?
So, yeah, I think, I don't have a crystal ball on this. What I would say is if the state does finally move towards this PARC assessment and move away from MCAS, the PARC assessment is meant to be administered on computers. We, the Lawrence Public Schools, as well as many other school districts in Massachusetts, do not currently have the infrastructure, broadband, and the hardware to actually administer those tests right now. My understanding is there may be federal dollars coming in to do that, which is fine. However, my interest is less in having technology for the sake of a summative exam than it is for having technology as a tool to learn. And I want to be clear, like sometimes there's a knee-jerk reaction to more technology equals better schooling, and I'm not sure that's always the case, particularly when our children often know more about technology than we do. And we're just kind of on the cusp, in my opinion, that where educational technology is going to be impactful for kids. We've seen a lot of starts and stops over the last 10 years where computer programs have been tried, but it really hasn't had a really meaningful impact on student learning. I think now when you see things like Khan Academy and different programs that are starting to come out that are really matching a student's individualized learning with the technology, this may be the time in education when that's actually going to tip the scales and require us to do a better job with it.
Thank you.
I just want to make sure we temper these discussions a little bit because I think that it's going to be a joint conversation with us in the school and the city council about what all that means in acquiring buildings and what it costs. And even though we have such a strong partnership with the state, some people call it something else. And I'm pretty sure the state's not also going to come in with a huge pile of money to do this with. So it's going to be a conversation about what resources we put, how we put it, and this committee is going to have to figure out a way to have that conversation with the city council in a way that we can fund these things and not break the bank.
No, I think that's right. I mean, I can't. Maybe I shouldn't. It would be challenging for this district to have a heavy technology increase without state or federal funding at this time. So I want to be clear about that.
Yeah, and I was actually specifically talking about not so much the technology as the buildings.
The buildings, yeah.
I think technology is a different animal, but the buildings, and what we're finding now too is that getting a state-of-the-art building, even if you don't pay 100% for it, you still have to have the wherewithal to maintain that building at a state-of-the-art level, and we haven't done that well. We say, oh, thank you for this great, nice place, and we don't staff to it in a way that allows us to pay for keeping it up, and it hurts in the end. So we got to make sure that conversation happens with the council and the committee at the same time.
No, I think that's absolutely right, and I think the folks that have been on this committee for a while know that this was something that was identified by me very early on, which is some real problems with our buildings that we had, and so we, as a school system, got a waiver from the state to use a lot of school money to kind of bring these buildings back up to spec so that we had a quality place for our students to go to school. That work, I believe, has saved millions of dollars into the future of things that could have been catastrophic. With that said, this facilities plan, I believe, is going to kind of identify what are the next steps that we need to take to make sure that we don't fall behind and have a catastrophic building situation where, we find ourselves in trouble. And so we want to make sure that we are up to speed on all of our buildings and facilities.
Cool. Anything else? Thank you.
We have
I just wanted to make sure we know where we're meeting next month.
Oh, okay, that's next. All right.
What's the question?
Where are we meeting next month?
May I, Mr. Mayor?
Absolutely. Mrs. Mariano?
I have a suggestion, and I don't know if you wouldn't mind entertaining it, where we had such a wonderful turnout here tonight. How about if we have it here every month? No. I just saw the principal.
See, the principals are like, you were a principal before. You shouldn't say stuff like that. Out of the club.
No, but I do have a suggestion.
Go ahead.
Where we're opening the Family Resource Center, Superintendent, is there room there for us to conduct our meetings there? I think it would be a great opportunity to bring parents down to see the facility and to possibly attend our meetings.
I think that and I have not been to that space yet, I have to say.
The finished space.
I've been busy at my new space, which may be slightly less elegant. But I think that's a great idea. Can we get back to you on that? I just want to see what the size and if we have the room and capacity to do it there. I think that'd be a great idea. As you guys know, we have kind of set up a situation where we're at central office 1 month, and we're at a school, central office at a school. But with us moving, does that mean we're going to have the next school committee meeting at North Common in January, or perhaps if the facility is ready to go, the Family Resource Center? And I agree with you, Ms. Mariano, if the Family Resource Center can hold the school committee meeting, I think that would be a great opportunity for parents to really see what's happening there.
Cool, I think. That's good.
Okay, we do have one speaker for public participation. Mr. Marley has waited so patiently.
Mr. Mayor,
Yeah.
I also, before
Ms.
public
Mariano?
participation.
Oh, yes.
I just wanted to add one thing. Excuse me, Mr. Marley. Right before Thanksgiving, I had the opportunity to address the President's Council meeting with the PowerPoint that we created about the wonderful things happening here at the in Lawrence Public Schools. It was a wonderful, wonderful turnout, and I was very happy to make that presentation. We've received 2 invitations from the presidents. Monday at the Partham School, we've been asked to attend their PTO meeting and present that PowerPoint to the parents there. And we also have an invitation for the Leahy School in March. So I'm inviting my colleagues, anybody that's available Monday from 3 to 5. I'll be at the Partham School, and I'd love for you to join me.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Ms. Mariano. Mr. Marley, the floor is yours, sir.
Good evening, honorable members. In this season of joy and celebration, our citizens and parents have one important reason to celebrate, that our public school, under impeccable leadership of Honorable Superintendent Raleigh, has made so much progress. Today, Lawrence Public School has more level 1 school, more high school graduate. Our MCAS improvement made our public school one of the best in the whole nation. Throughout the strife and challenges, Lawrence Public School comes from the worst public school to the best. Our teachers and their union today, under the leadership of Honorable Superintendent Raleigh and Mayor Rivera, have a contract. Our job as a citizen continue to support our teachers and their union. The message of this wonderful season and celebration is a triumph of our public school and the gift of best education for our children. Overcoming any struggle by having the best education, we at the Frost family were sad by passing away of our beloved Janira Fuentes. We love as a citizen, we support our Massachusetts legislator to name a bill in the name of the Janira Fuentes that enforce MBTA to impose higher safety requirement while our children passing through the rails. So the wonderful memories of this angel stay in our public school forever. Let's move forward with the celebration of our victory with the best Christmas wishes for our leadership and our teachers and our parents. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Marley. Mr. Mayor, will you close out the meeting for us, please?
Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion's been made, seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, the ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you all. Good evening.
Thank you.